Oh, and down he goes! Right hand, left hand! And I don't think he's going to get up! I think it's all over! I think it's over! Is he going to get up? Can he get up? Can he get up? He does! Oh my goodness! Somehow Fury has managed to get up!
If you haven't already, please also subscribe to us on Apple, Spreaker and Spotify. Just type in Brawl Boxing and you'll find us there. Thank you.
Thanks to Wow Hydrate, who've sponsored the podcast. They provided me and the lads with some of their protein and vitamin waters, along with electrolyte drinks, which are the best on the market. Thanks for your continued support. We really appreciate it.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Brawl Boxing Podcast. I'm Kieran McCourt, and I'm joined by co-hosts Colin McGuigan and Ram McLaughlin.
Thanks, guys. Well, this week we're joined by an absolute stalwart of the podcast. I think he was actually one of the first we had on. Obviously, Tyrone McKenna beat him to that feat. Then he came on close after Tyrone. So please welcome future world champion Michael Conlan. Mick, how you doing, mate?
All good, mate. All good. In the final few days of preparation, so feeling good.
I already beat him. Mick's already beat Tyrone because he's been on this now 3 times. Tyrone's only been on it twice.
I think Mick's been on a 4.
4?
4. This is the 4th.
He knows.
Fucking hell! Apologies, lads. Jesus.
So Mick, what do you consider yourself now? Do you still consider yourself a boxer or a Twitch player or what?
Twitch streamer.
I fucking am earning money from Twitch, so like you could say I'm a Twitch streamer now. So
Because right now you look a lot more like a fucking a Warzone gamer than a boxer.
like my purple ambient lighting and everything is fantastic. You know what I mean?
Look at that setup. See, anyone who's listening, please just go on YouTube and look at the setup Mick's got going on now. Honestly, it's putting Rand to shame in his wee single bedroom.
Remember, no, Rand's one used to be like that, and it literally since the Eddie pod. Do you remember, Rand?
I know, and Eddie thought I was in a brothel.
That's right.
I was the other guy yet.
He's like, you're on dodgy.
One screen, 2 screen.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
wow.
That's levels. I've got the little blue window screen around this shit.
Well, who was it? Tom would attack. He done it, and so he's put this Mick Conlan on my screens. Well, he's Scouse. I'll forgive him. He's put it orange, white, and green instead of green, white, and orange.
No,
you do have a lot of fans in every post. You've got a lot of fans in every post.
Tomo the Tacky, you're getting call out. That needs change.
Yeah.
You go to
Mick,
Tomo
obviously-
Taki for your PCs. He's the best about it. He done mine as well.
Not
And
for your
what,
flags.
Mick, what's your Twitch?
Not for your flags, but yeah. Conlan Revolution's the Twitch.
Tomo, that's how you do it. That's it.
Yeah.
Team Conlan, where can you get the merch?
You can't.
Oh,
You
I'm
can't,
sorry,
but
lads.
you can't
Soon.
Here,
Soon.
Rand, you need to ask his agent. There he is.
Yeah,
That's my
sorry.
agent, yeah. Up in
Well,
the
we'll
top
speak-
corner.
We'll speak about that soon. But Mick, obviously, you've been a great help to the podcast first and foremost. So whenever we first came on, I think Rand reached out there and you really helped us grow.
Yeah.
So you've got us to a point now where we're able to get good guests on every week. So we do owe that to you and the other lads from Belfast who helped us. But since we last spoke to you, obviously you fought in the Falls Park in your own back garden.
Mhm.
You beat TJ Dehaney, who you've said yourself was your toughest test to date.
Yeah.
How good was it overcoming that obstacle?
To be honest, I thought it was very comfortable. It was really good to beat TJ after his talking and stuff from fight week and all that, and the fact that he kept saying like you can't punch and stuff, and then I put him down and stuff. So all these little things, they're all little boxes just to tick along the way and experience and that's it. Just them experiences which you need kind of get into these bigger fights like this next one against Leigh Wood. Those kind of fights have set me up nicely for this.
Was that the most an opponent like to date anyway has got under your skin? Because it seemed fight week in the
yeah.
Balmoral you were about to crack him. It was on site. for TJ,
I wouldn't say got under my skin. What I would say was, got me up for it. It's the first time I've had a little bit of back chat basically, and I enjoyed it. That was something that I've always loved in boxing. When you see the back and forth and stuff, it's something that it kind of excites me and I can get into. And it's just natural as well. It's not like I don't feel forced to do it or anything. It just comes out, and every second word I say is either fuck or cunt or something like that. I'll be honest, right? Listen, everybody who knows me,
promoter stream.
there's no point of like apologizing because that's it. If you know me, it's not meant in offense. It's just like it's how I speak, kind of. I can speak proper if I need to speak proper and not curse, but when you're having those back and forths, it's nice to have that little bit of spite in your language. And when I speak, I speak with authority, and I call things how they are. And if you're a fucking dickhead, I'll tell you you're a fucking dickhead, and that's simple as that.
Do you reckon because you're from West Belfast, obviously that's St James's group chat, did that like hold you in good stead for going into the Leigh Wood presser when you absolutely mugged them off?
I probably like, all my fucking group chats probably do, but as you know, like I don't really sit and get involved in the group chats as much when I'm in fight camp. So you see the stuff I laugh and all there, but it's just being where I'm from. It's how people spoke, and it's how it kind of the banter and the chat in terms of when you're growing up in the slaggings and stuff. When you're in them kind of press conferences, like that was like having a child in front of me, trying to go back at me, and like I'm able just to go sit there and shut up. You know what I mean? That was that kind of thing, and that's how it felt. So I think I put that down to being from probably West Belfast and our crack and our humour. So, yeah, probably.
Mick, obviously, we'll get on to Ben Davison and Leigh Wood in a minute. They're top hot topic of conversation. But before that, before we touch on that, we spoke to you the day before you fought Doheny, right? And between us three, we literally left that podcast and said you were like a man possessed. What was it about you that day? I've never seen anyone. You were going into battle the next day, and you were sitting laughing with us as if you had nothing going on the next day. What was it about the build up of that fight?
I would say your mentality even now for this fight is even 10 times, like from messaging and talking, like it's fucking, you just seemed so much more like, I don't know, like just zoomed in, like literally bulletproof tunnel vision.
I think like Danny for TJ won that whole fight week and stuff. That helped me kind of get into it even more. This one's been a different level, and I can even tell it myself. Like I told you about, like I always get nervous and everybody gets nervous and stuff, but like I've done everything humanly possible. They put me in the position I'm in for this fight. I've trained harder than I've ever trained. I've went through barriers I've never went through. I've been sparring better than I've ever sparred. I've made weight as easy as I possibly could. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'll have not one excuse after this fight. I've been perfect. And I have no fear of anything. I have no fear of losing because I will not lose. And I know I will not lose. I've done everything in my power to put me in that position. And mentally, you said it a second ago, I'm bulletproof. I'm solid. I will fuck anybody up right now, and that's not a joke.
I'm shitting myself here, Mick. Calm down. No, so Mick, just before, one last thing about the failure. Because again, we haven't spoken in a professional capacity since, and obviously people probably want to hear your thoughts on this, right? This fight is going to be away.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest nights you've had. Now you've had big nights away. You've been through all that. You've had your Madison Square Gardens and all the rest. You always say there's something special about the atmosphere back home in Falls Park. Do you feel, a lot of people are saying Belfast, it's going to feel like you're in Belfast in Nottingham next week. Do you feel that's going to be the case?
I don't know. I don't care. I know it's crazy. I'm in England right now. I have thousands of people coming from England. I have bus loads, trailer loads coming from London, coming from Glasgow, coming from Wales. It's crazy. People come and support me from this country. You know what I mean? A country
from Nottingham as well.
From Nottingham, from massive support from Nottingham.
I'm not joking.
Massive support from Derby as well. Derby is crazy.
Yeah, rivals.
I'm surprised like how much Irish people are actually in Derby. It's fucking.
There's 150 people alone coming from Nottingham for this fight, which I think speaks volumes about your career. And obviously, there's a home fighter there who's losing out in 150 supporters. You have to ask yourself why.
Even for the failure, you had the likes of Josh Taylor coming over. Just obviously, like he was obviously there. You had Coogan coming over with his missus, just for like the atmosphere and also that you're obviously your fights generate.
Yeah,
and
Coogan
I think
Coogan working. You'd think Coogan be sick of boxing on like his weekends off, and he flew over to be there.
Like just us speaking, like it's like I feel because you've had all them big nights. The likes of Leigh Wood, the pressure on him is like another level. because he wanted Nottingham, didn't he? So much he wanted it because he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go to Belfast. Didn't want to go to Madison Square Garden because he thought it's going to be basically home for you.
Yeah,
so like the pressure is massively on him.
It's crazy. And then you hear Josh Taylor after his fight the other day talking about the pressure of fighting at home. I suppose it's not the best thing to say when your campmate is fighting at home 2 weeks after. I think I don't think he'll be ready for what's going to happen. I've experienced it, and I know the pressures of fighting at home. It is very hard.
Do you read
it
into
does
that,
take a
Mick?
lot. To be honest, at the minute, I don't give two f's about anything. It is what it is. We're ready to fight. Whether or not he can contain himself, it's out of my control. But what I know is he can't beat me, and he will not beat me.
Man is switched on,
See, we see when we clip this and we put these out as our trailer for his podcast. Fuck me, we're just gonna put your face on it, not even us three, and just you telling us what you're gonna do to fucking Leigh Wood.
See, to be honest, on the Leigh Wood thing as well, can we just touch on the fact that Leigh Wood is stated in his press conferences that he wants to fight at home. He wants to be a fighter that fights at home. Why would he not have taken the fight in Madison Square Garden for the biggest night of his career if he knew he was going to beat Mick, and then he would have came back to Nottingham after that? So that to me tells me that there's some self-doubt in his mind that he knows he's not winning this fight because he wanted that one last day in the sun in front of his home fans. And I think deep down, if Leigh Wood is listening to this, he'll know that himself, because there's a reason why he didn't go for the biggest night of his career in Madison Square Garden, and it has to be that.
Yeah, well, whether or not that's the case, it doesn't matter. When we go Nottingham March 12th, the outcome will be what it was always going to be, what it already is.
There's some pressure as well on Ben Davison, because after last weekend too, like this is going to be what his next fight going in, and like
he's in
after
the mud.
obviously that happened last weekend.
Ben's in the mud.
I think I seen a tweet from Conlan Boxing that actually outed him too. It was about that conversation, obviously, in the press conference, and then he's in the corner telling Josh that he needs to knock him out in the last round, and he comes back on his words. So
listen, people make mistakes, people say things. At the end of the day, the talking is over, basically. Now, I know there's press conference on next week, and whether or not, I talk shit or not, it doesn't really matter, because the talking, as I said, is done. I've done my hard work. I actually don't need to say anything. I've been, as you know, you've been running my social media. I've been in the dark. I only found out 3 days ago there was a war going on in Ukraine. Between Ukraine and Russia. I don't know anything that's going on in the world. I'm doing training every day. I'm not seeing my kids. I'm not near my family. I'm here in my apartment. I play Call of Duty, yes. And that's the only thing interaction I have with anybody from home, or anybody who I kind of know, except for my flatmates, with Kurt Walker and our Chalmers. So everything I do every day is focused around boxing. I lay in bed every night. I think about this fight, and the more I think about it, the less things I see that bother me, less things I go, okay, that will work, no, that won't work, that won't work. It just gets easier every night. Like I had a dream. I end up sleeping. I sent you it around. I end up sleeping for like 10 hours. It's like cold. I kept waking up. And then when I woke up at like 4 in the morning. Fell asleep at 9:30. Woke up at 4 in the morning. How long am I sleeping? I looked at my little Oura ring, which is this. It tracks my sleep and stuff, and it's saying you're asleep. But I woke up in like complete joy, and I just won the fight, and we were like celebrating at an after party, and it was fucking crazy. It was like it felt so real, and I was just like, I know what it feels like already. This is what it's gonna feel like. Now, it's not enough, but that's what it will feel like, and that's what I want.
Like we were actually speaking to Arn about your mentality, like doing your training, and he was saying like he would see you running on the treadmill, and then between each like set, there'd be a point at the very near the end of the run, you'd be lying on your back like absolutely fucked, and then Adam would be like, "You've got one more, whoever it is, taking the treadmill session," and you just bounce straight back up and just start sprinting again. And he's like, he doesn't but then like when you think about that, if your back's against the ropes in a fight, you're never gonna have that that give up mentality that people do have, like, in every walk of life. And obviously that'll hold you in massive stead going into these big nights.
There's no quit. There's no quit in everything I do. There's no quit. I hate to lose, and my biggest competition always is myself. And that's like when I find it hardest is like if I'm doing sprints and it's only me, because I'm sprinting against other people. I'm beating them, and it's like I'm beating them, so like I can stick at this, beat them. But when I'm going against myself, I know how hard I have to push, because I know if I know I have more in me, that's me not doing enough and losing against myself. So I'm always trying to push harder on a slow run. I'm never going slow. I'm always going hard. It's like I need to kind of be held back at times, but when it comes to the sprints and stuff, I'll push till I die. Like, so that's how it is, and that's what it'll be like when I'm in the ring. Like I will never give up.
Just on the subject of pressure, Mick, obviously that's something you thrive under. Everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
You've been through the biggest of occasions, amateur world championships, Europeans, represent your country, the Olympics twice, turning pro, Madison Square Garden, massive undercards, then headlining the field twice, and now this. I know it's hard to probably compare because at any one moment they always feel like the most pressure, but would you say there's a different element to this one, or is this just like clockwork?
I think it's just clockwork by now. I think I've reached the highest state of pressure when it comes to trying to create history and become Ireland's first and only ever male world champion. That was a different type of pressure. That wasn't the same as the normal pressure. How many Irish people have become world champion in professional boxing? You know what I mean? There's people have done it. I've done something that no one has done before and still hasn't no one has eclipsed. So in my opinion, that will probably go down as probably one of my greatest achievements ever. No matter what I do in a professional game. You think about it, there's only two people from, these shores, Ireland and UK, who's ever won it, and it's me and Frankie Gavin. Frankie will never get the credit he deserves because he didn't have a good pro career. Well, as good a pro career as what he should have had, but at the same time, the amateur boxing was different back then. It was more like computer scoring. When he won it, which was even harder to kind of win it. Where mine was more pro scoring, and to have that type of pressure was unbelievably crazy. But at the same time, to have the debut pressure I had in my first fight, with the eyes of the world on you, scrutiny was 100%. Didn't look that good, and I got criticized enough for that. So I've learned to deal with it by now. When you're fighting at home from the Belfast, fighting there and you set up, like, actually, the last fella, I basically funded myself the whole show. I needed to win. That was my money, which was on the line. The whole show was my money. I needed to win, and you're getting in there with that pressure. That's an outside pressure. It's a different type of pressure. That's not just the pressure of winning. That's the pressure of hundreds of thousands of pounds. You know what I mean? That's like, oh fuck, this is my money. If I lose this, I'm probably in shit creek here. But I had to go in there with that pressure, and it dealt with that no problem. So going to Nottingham, let's be honest, there's not that fucking much pressure on me. I think I'm the underdog in here. I know the bookies say different, but I think that's because I'm more well known. In terms of a pro game and what he's achieved, Leigh Wood has done more than me, and he's beat better fighters than me. Well, than I have. So he's, in my opinion, the favourite. I'm getting in there against him, and I've got to go and do a job in his back garden. All the pressure I think is on him. He wants to keep hold of his belts. Good for him. Not going to happen. I'll walk away world champion March 12th.
You have press conferences were anything to go by as well. The support compared from Nottingham compared to fucking Belfast, it just like completely eclipsed it. Like, so I obviously I know so many coming over from it literally is going to be like a home fight, and like, and I think Eddie Hearn knows that as well, Joe. When you listen to his interviews, after, and he says about how many Irish are going to be there, like he's buzzing. That's probably why he suggested probably the Leigh Wood about Belfast and about New York, because he knew. and obviously Leigh was adamant he wanted it at Nottingham.
Well, of course. I mean, when you think about it, it's actually, you'd almost be a bit offended if you were Leigh Wood as the champion being asked to go over to Belfast. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he was like, what the fuck? But again, that shows like the belief not only Eddie knows that you can do in ticket sales, but in the Belfast crowd and the atmosphere it creates. Like it is. It's cliche to say, I don't give a fuck. I say it to every guest we have on. Like, you have to fight in Belfast at some point. Like the crowd is definitely unrivaled.
It's different. It's different. It's a different type of fan. It's a fan. Like Irish football fans are a different type of fans. You know what I mean? No matter where we go, everybody's celebrating. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's enjoying it.
Yeah, Callum's got Nico Ali, Muhammad Ali's fucking grandson, coming to the field in August.
There you go. There you go. He'll be on it. You know what I mean? He'll be on it.
Unbelievable, and he'll love it too. But here, I wanted to touch on something because I've actually not even told you this, Mick, because you've been in camp. But obviously, Mick said there about, you know, run the social media and stuff. I am not joking when I say this, and I'm not going to name the people, but there has been like really well-known actors, musicians, footballers that have mailed Mick asking for tickets, and I've said, yeah, he's one. And I've actually, and this is no word of a lie, and I'm not naming names or anything, but I've said to them, look, unfortunately we can't get any more. Can you ask Leigh Wood? And there has been 3 of them have said, who's that, mate? And that's no word of a lie. So this shows you the levels of what we're working with at the minute. And like, Mick, you have that mindset that's totally different. Like, we've seen at the weekend, Leigh Wood is down in Glasgow supporting his teammate, which is all well and good, but there's levels in this game. And I think you just show that different mentality. And you are a different level to Leigh Wood, and I think you'll show that on March 12th. But obviously, thinking about March 12th, it's so close now for everyone. Is there something in your mind that you've got going into that fight, or is it just going to be you're winning and that's it? Or can you predict how you're going to beat him?
I can beat him anyway. I can beat Leigh Wood 19 different ways. He can. I can't see one way he can't beat me. He thinks he's going to knock me out. It's impossible. It's impossible. He can't beat me. Everything I do, I just got to go in there and be me, and that's it. I don't worry about what he does. They sit and they'll study fucking hundreds of hours of tape of me and do all this here, but look at this, and I'll come out, I'll be a different fighter than what they even tracked for. You know what I mean? You gotta train for 5 different styles when you're fighting me. You know, if they have a game plan for one style, I can just go, well, I'm not gonna fight that style, I'll do this one. And they'll try to adjust. And the thing, I have so much ability to adapt and change mid-fight, mid-second. You know, it's not hard. I don't think they can. I don't think they'll be able to adjust to what I can do.
Yeah, you actually done that against TJ as well, didn't you? And he couldn't adapt to it.
Within 15 seconds, I knew that I would beat TJ as a southpaw.
Yeah.
Just as he threw a jab and I threw like an orthodox jab, and I didn't like the position I was in and how he threw his jab. I said, no, I think I'll be able to pick him easier as a southpaw. So that was an immediate switch right away.
Yeah. Have you got any secrets you can let out for your ring walk? You're gonna surprise everyone on the night.
Just low lie, right?
Sweet.
That's all I'll say.
Right. Okay.
It's epic.
It will be unbelievable. It will be unbelievable. I don't think the girls are coming live this time, which would be, would have been fantastic. But it's the zone. They should be probably paying for them to come, but I don't think they are. But yeah, listen, I think it's going to be class. The ring walk will be unbelievable. It'll be another, a 3-song ring walk as usual. I'll take my time. I'll get to the ring, and if they want to make me wait, I can wait. You know what I mean? I've been waiting fucking long enough. I've been in this camp since September, basically. So I don't mind if they want to have a long ring walk or anything. I'm prepared for any of the main games they want to play, but maybe not. Maybe they'll just try to get to the ring as quick as possible and get it over and done with.
Tell me this, just on the subject of ring walks. Obviously, it's something you've become so synonymous with. Like, they're fucking unbelievable. Are you able to, when you're in the moment, actually enjoy it, or like?
I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Remember on the stage, you went, "This is fucking brilliant."
Like that last one was just like, that last one probably the one I've enjoyed the most. And it's because it was a fight that had the kind of fight where I could get my teeth into. I could talk my shit. I could do my stuff and be that little bastard that I know I am when I want to be. So I that last one you could see even when I was fucking singing going to the ring. You know what I mean? I was loving it. There was the whole thing. I knew what way it was going to play. At every way, the way all the songs blended. I always mix them up. Like you've got the Irish tunes, the rebel tunes, and then you've got some soul music in there, and you're going, fuck me, this guy, what genre of music does he like? You know what I mean? So Rand hates my choice of music half the time, but his is not the
Questionable.
best.
I would love a
Questionable.
little Troy Bolton High School Musical one to get you into the ring. That would be
You would
ideal.
soaring, flying. You'd be loving that one.
Rye would be the least. Rye would be the least intimidating boxer ever. Like
He would come out doing that dance. What is it when he goes like with his arms up?
Soaring, flying.
He'd love a bit of Bieber when he's walking.
Tell you what, see if I could get. Oh my God, Bieber walking. See when Bieber walked Mayweather to the ring. Honestly, that was gorgeous.
What about this? Right. You headlining Fela, middle of August, warm summer's night, summer loving Greece.
Oh,
Now, that would be scenes.
My
Could you
daughter would love it.
imagine?
My daughter would love it.
Could you? But it would actually erupt. Like see someone like.
Ba-dum.
Like, could you imagine? Right, see why Sean McCone does
put up
that.
a fight?
Sean McCone does that bird is the word. Could you imagine him wagging on a leather jacket, him and his missus just strolling down to the ring?
Oh my God!
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put that past him.
Nah, here I would give
do.
Tyrone. Tyrone would do that definitely.
Tyrone
If
would
he said
definitely
it's
do
Tyrone
that.
would want to do it, he'd do it. No sweat.
I would.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Mick's too smacked out for that. Mick's just like no.
Aye,
Like I'd like to see it, but
Mick would do Westlife maybe. I could see you doing Westlife or something, Mick.
Flying Without Wings.
here.
Flat,
True.
okay, oh.
But listen, forget Wesley. Why don't they just get Connor Burns on stage singing "You Raise Me Up"?
True, actually.
That would be amazing.
Mick, I want to
For
touch
some
on.
reason, I don't see that making it on the zone, but I mean, it's worth a shot. Like,
Do you know what will happen soon? I can see Dermot Kennedy singing you out soon.
Oh, definitely, Dermot. He says he would.
Really?
I would.
That'd be incredible.
Imagine that.
Dermot Kennedy.
I would like to see Harry would sing Grace.
Yeah.
Dermot Kennedy, husky voice on it.
Yeah, he took Driving Home for Christmas, and as Louis Walsh said, he made it his own. It was fucking glorious. That's the only version I listened to.
Ram is literally the younger Louis Walsh, isn't he? Just look at the way he's sitting.
Oh no! I can't unsee that.
He is.
What the fuck is all about? His headers.
I don't like them. I love them.
There's something about him, Simon. I like them.
It's got star potential.
Brilliant.
That as a clip. Fuck that.
Before this podcast takes a turn for the worse, Mick, we had your gym mate on last week, Aaron, who's obviously an absolute gentleman. We've had him on a few times.
Amazing guy.
Well, he actually told a story about you when you were making weight, that you told him to go fuck himself. That wasn't very nice. I hope you forgive him, and I hope you've made it up.
I had to make him understand what it was like. He had never been a part of like the fight camp and stuff, and I brought him along with a failed one. I'd love to be part of it. I said, right, come on. I was doing a weight cut, and he says, "Come on, champ, on the knee." I just looked at him and says, "Shut the fuck up." I was fucked making weight, and he tried to big me up. I was like, it's not like Harlem is always there, and Harlem just sits silent and just be a part of it, and I love that. But he didn't know you just be quiet, you just be a part of it, and he says they on the knee or something. I said, "Fuck up."
Did you feel awful after?
No.
Fuck me.
No. He shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have spoke.
I seen Oren running into Jim Cullen's office in Jim Cole. In fear for his life.
I'm not going to speak to Mick next week. Actually, it's freaking me out of it.
Nah, it's alright. I'll be alright. I'll make way for him first. So, yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, just on Aaron. Obviously, he spoke about you a lot on the pod. He's been training 18 months now with you guys, and his debute's finally coming April 2nd. Do you think he's going to surprise a few people?
I think so. You know what? One of the nicest guys I've met, and that's not even a lie. Coming from that background, people have expectations and thoughts of people and how they will be and how they kind of get on. And they are as people, and he blew me away. His dedication, his effort he puts in, and his sacrifice, being away from his family and stuff. Guy's doing the meal preps the way I'm doing meal preps. He's paying fucking serious money per week for meal preps, and he's doing the double sessions. He's sparring. He's away from his kid. He's got fucking 3 kids. He's away from them, every week, and for like 3 weeks on end. He doesn't need to be doing this, but he is. He's trying to give it his all. Um, he's been working hard now for 18 months. Imagine that length of a fight can be 18 months he's been training just to kind of adjust to the boxing game and try to kind of get up to some sort of standard or to make an impact. And I think he will. No, he's a real good guy. And then when you look at the kind of the social media and all, and then how he was in Geordie Shore and all that there, and you're thinking he may be a bit of a dickhead here, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He always was a lovely guy, and I admired him from afar when he went in the MMA because it was like fair play to him. People think he's just this guy who's on TV and he's doing this here, but MMA is different, mate. I wouldn't even go in the MMA. That's crazy. He went in there to prove a point, but at the same time, he didn't just come from doing nothing to go in the MMA or go in the Geordie Shore and all that there. He was actually working on the oil rigs, you know what I mean? He came from hard graft, he came from working class, and I think that be's forgotten when you be on TV. People think you're, silver spoon kind of fake kind of guy, but he's not. He's a working class kid who has worked his ass off to get to where he's got to. Got a shot on Geordie Shore, bang, made him an overnight celebrity, and then took up the sport of MMA, which in my opinion was fucking crazy. But he went in there, people wanting to see him lose. Like people banned for blood to see him lose. People were going to the show. He's getting booed. I mean, and he was selling it. He was getting booed because who he was and the position he was in. The people in that sport, in MMA, and it will be the same on boxing. People on boxing be like, fuck him and all. Like he's getting an opportunity, but he's earned his opportunity. He is who he is, and he's taking a sacrifice to get to where he wants to get to. But yeah, he went in there and he showed people I'm not here to mess about, and he was sparking people out in MMA. He has 7 fights, 5 wins, 2 losses. And he's coming in the boxing. In my opinion, it'll probably be a bit more easy for him because he doesn't have to worry about being choked out or being kicked in the head. So yeah, I have the utmost respect for him. Became very, very close friends with him, and I've helped him along the way. I give him all advice all the time. And he's always in contact with me, and I'll be in his corner come fight night and stuff. So yeah, massive. It's fantastic.
Just on that, he spoke on the pod about there's obviously some fights that he would love to make. I'm sure there's one of them which he couldn't name, the guy who's going to be turning over soon. We knew who he was talking about. That would be a great fight. Then obviously Tommy Fury and Jake Paul type fights. I'm not going to ask you about Tommy Fury too much in case you're running into John Fury.
Oh fuck off.
Tell you what, Tommy Fury, right? If Arn faced Tommy Fury, Mick and Carl Frampton will be in his corner.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want Mick to say anything here and then bump into Big John. So, but is that a fight? Do you think, number one? I think personally that could do fucking mega numbers, like in terms of like gate or like you could sell out big fucking places for that because of the name and the following they both have. Do you think that fight would make sense?
Definitely. I think down the line here in a few fights, he'll definitely fight, Tommy, hopefully, and then possibly fight, Jake Paul at some stage. That would be fantastic, and he's got aspirations of having these kind of fights, and he knows what he is as a fighter. He knows what his opportunities and his goals are, and that's very important. He's not going in there saying that's not going to be a multiple weight world champion. He's not doing that. He's not going in there and saying I'm the face of boxing. Saying no, I want to fight these guys because I know I'll beat these guys, and I respect that. You know what I mean? He's not going in there like saying I'm going to run boxing all this here shit the way a lot of the people are doing. He's just going in saying, nah, I'll fight that guy, I'll fight that guy, I'll fight that guy because I know I can beat them, and they're in that position, but I can beat them, so let me do it. And they're all big fights which would be unbelievable to make. I'd be delighted to see him get them. And hopefully he does.
Yeah, Mick, speaking on Conlan boxing, like I know obviously Kurt fought last week, had a great debut, and like see for Conlan boxing, what are your aspirations for it at the end? Like, is it to give people from Ireland that opportunity that maybe they wouldn't get you know, through obviously your contacts, and because obviously it is your company, you and Jamie's company.
Yeah, that's not. I would like it to make it, a big promotional company. Eventually, at the minute, a boutique kind of management company managing, not a handful of fighters, not loads of fighters, not spreading their wings too far because there isn't loads of us. And we can manage some good fighters and get them into the positions of becoming, British, European, world champion, Irish champions all this year. That's what you want to do. You want to make people become stars. You don't want them just to, be in the sport to try and earn a wee bit of money and take a few blows to the head. I'm not about that. If you want to be a world champion, you're the kind of fighter I want. If you have the ability to be a world champion, you're the kind of fighter I want. Um, and that's the thing. We don't need to be, spreading their wings too far, as I say, because I think to manage so many people, you get people are important people will get lost in that kind of mix. Whereas if you can manage like a certain few people, you can really give them your full focus and put them into the positions they need to get to. With Kieran and Kurt, they're two fighters who have great drive, two fighters who have great ability. Kurt's a bit older at 27, and Will moving faster, especially after the performance here. Nitty was fantastic, blew me away kind of. Dream debut. That says like that was a better debut than mine. In terms of performance, he performed superb. Kieran had a fantastic debut. He's only 22 or 23. He can punch like a mule. A bit eager in his debut, but I think the better opponent who is going to kind of give him the opportunities, the better you'll see of him. I think he was still very, very, very good. So, those fighters with that kind of drive and that mindset of becoming world champion are fighters I want to work with.
Was that hard for you in the build up to this fight because you had all that going on? So I know obviously like Jamie will take a more hands on role than you when you're in camp and things like that. But was it hard for you to kind of balance that because you're not just worrying about yourself on Saturday night, you're worrying about Kieran and Kurt's future, their debut, the whole Top Rank thing with being with Top Rank and the pressures that adds, and because you've already been there and done it. Was it a bit different for you this time around?
Um, I would say probably more so with Kurt because I was really hands on with him throughout his training camp. Helping him and showing him things and doing things. Kieran's up with Angel Fernandez and he's doing his thing up there. So I'm confident in terms of what he's doing. I'm happy with what he's doing. And the fact that with Kurt and I'm seeing how he's improving and seeing him on his good days and on his bad days, I felt a bit more invested in it for him on that fight, if I'm honest. But for both of them, I wasn't nervous. It was their debut to know what they were going to do. At the same time, I have my own big fight coming up. And I'll be honest, when I'm fighting, I'm a selfish cunt. I don't give a fuck about anybody. And that's just me being straight with you. I don't give a fuck. Um, like anything could be happening is happening. It's the kind of way you have to be as a fighter. You have to be kind of selfish. As any sportsman yourself, friend, you'll know when you're in that position of being ready to compete. Can't really care about what else is going on. No point. It's out of your control. So I wasn't really fearful of what was happening with them. I wanted them to both perform well. I believe they both did. Um, I was really happy with both the performances. I'm excited to see what happens next.
You said you wouldn't obviously go near MMA, right? But see, when I see CCTV footage of you rear naked choking people in the gym, is Arn teaching you how?
No,
Where's that
but he
coming
did. He
from?
did show me. He did show me how to lock it up and how to kind of get them to tap quicker. The way I had my arm and stuff. So, 'cause I was doing it a different way, and he was like, no, if you do it this way, you'll get it easier. So it's okay.
Poor
Try it
Harlem's
that
getting the
way.
brunt of it all.
No, it's not Harlem. It's
Is it not?
Jermaine Brown. He was
Was
fighting
it
on
Jermaine
Sky
Brown?
Sports recently.
Fuck.
Jermaine hates me. He hates me. Well, he doesn't hate me, but he hates me attacking him because see the second time I done it, I thought he was going to attack me. I was like, oh, I gotta stop this because he will probably knock my bollocks out at some stage. He's a light heavyweight, so yeah, he probably will. So yeah, I had to kind of,
I
I had
love
to
the way
kind
you
of
all
ease
run
it
out like
down.
wee kids to the CCTV camera after. And
I
start
I
recording.
record everything I pick. Yeah, I get that. You hold it against you.
That's what I would do in training. Though, see, when we have our trainings, like obviously videoed, as soon as I nutmeg someone or something in training, straight away, straight to the analyst, get me that fuck shit. Let me do it.
Brilliant,
Put
brilliant.
it on the gram.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting a message here from Mick's agent saying that we're running on too long and he's got a busy night ahead of him. So we're going to have to wrap it up here, lads.
Text
But
yourself.
Mick, honestly, thank you so much for giving us your time. Obviously, so close to your fight as well. And we know that media-wise this time you've kind of been a bit quieter, being off social media and that. So we really appreciate your time.
Keep it that way.
On.
So we're the exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the Zone have me in a fucking media scrum tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Oh, fuck him.
So,
Fuck the Zone.
We'll get this out at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
We're getting this out of 2, fuck them.
get it early. Get it early.
At 9 a.m. the fuck, give them the whole morning to work journey in. Just listen to us, lads.
I sure they'll be sick. They'll be sick of Mick by the time 3 o'clock comes.
Mick, thanks a million for coming on.
Listen, Colm's run the social media anyway, so he'll just share your stuff and forget everybody else. You know what
True.
See, to be honest, I haven't even done that yet. But you know what? Now that you said I am going to do that, everyone else is getting burnt aside.
Yeah.
We're all boxing everywhere.
You've got a green light.
Really appreciate it, Mick. Thank you.
Mick, honestly, thank you so much, mate. You always so good this. You always give us the time, even close to the fight. So we'll catch up with you in Nottingham. Where's the after party, by the way?
Oh, the after party, Beer Keller, Nottingham. Booked out. Friends and family, come see me. Everyone else, get yourself on the door 11 o'clock till late. Massive
I'm a
night
big
ahead.
deal. Like, is there going to be red ropes for where I'm sitting?
We've got red ropes and we've got some special appearances happening. So make sure you get down early to Beer Keller, Nottingham, taking it over.
Cannot wait.
Me and Jamie Dornan are going to be there, so lock up your women.
Well, guys, that's it for our episode with Mick Conlan. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back next week with another very special guest. Boom.
Born in Belfast in 91. That's where this journey begun, with his dad and his brother. He couldn't go wrong. Too quick, too slick, too powerful and strong. Destined for greatness at only 19. He made it on the Irish Olympic team, and at the London Games was a little unknown till he went and brought a bronze medal home. Let's hear it for Ireland's boxing #1. Mick Conlan, Belfast's finest son, said you to all the cheats and who's corrupt, judge and scum.